The boys are back. Triple beam team. Wait, was he there last week, man?
No.
Right. He's
No.
got the life.
That's Billy to quit.
He's got the life.
AKA Miserability.
Miserability.
We're in a good mood tonight. Tonight.
This is not, you're listening to Knock 'em Out the Box. This is episode 102.
102.
Indeed.
I come out with another nickname for Billy. I think it's Jesus Christ Billy Star. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. He's just an icon.
His hair is flowing. His
beard is flowing.
It is.
I can't wait to see him in a couple weeks.
There's lots of flow.
Shout out to Justin at Penny Lane Barbers in Voorhees, New Jersey.
Nice. He's the one. He's the one.
All right. Our first sponsor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, Justin, my Venmo is
right. Knock 'em Out the Box 102. My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic Left, Right, Left Kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the word, kid?
Chilling, man. I just wanted to start the episode by I slandered this Pablo's, besmirched his name, and said he wasn't responding to my text messages. For some reason, I had his home number in my phone, and I was texting his home number.
That?
Yeah.
What a stupid moron. He's a bad texter, regardless, though.
So I wouldn't have
apologized.
He texted me right back. Once we figured it out. This I'm gonna say it in Philly parlance. This bull sent me an email calling me out, like, yo, I didn't miss no text messages from you.
Wow, he pulled your card.
While he was editing.
Wow.
Pulled my card. So I figured out the right number. Text
and now you're cooking with grease.
Cooking with grease.
Five girls between the two of you.
That's it. We got a slumber party planned.
That's what I'm saying.
Me and this Pablo.
Imagine that, Billy. Billy, you have both. Would you rather? I know, but what's harder, Billy? What's more difficult?
If I would have had a third, I don't know that I'd still be here right now. I might have just walked off a
third
pier.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin's got 4 boys and 1 girl.
Can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Yeah, my mom has 3 boys.
3 boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I don't.
God bless her.
I don't know that I could deal with girls, man. I think I would melt down. I would have a meltdown.
Everybody who says that, who then has a girl, they make you melt. That's
Oh no. I mean in that way, but overboard.
Yeah,
you know I mean? Like, I know how I am with my niece.
It's hard to say no.
I'll go on a killing spree.
Yeah.
I mean,
when they ask for shit, it's hard to say no. Although my little one, I think, wants to murder me this week, so she's been telling me no.
I like that.
No, where's mommy?
I like that.
First thing she says when she wakes up and sees me and not Vanessa. Where's mommy?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of you getting you getting snubbed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started off like we always started off with some news and notes. One that as soon as I saw it, I said B and I are gonna laugh and call bullshit. Ben Shalom asked if he'll put Ben Whitaker straight back in with Liam Cameron for an immediate rematch. I believe that's the fight. I do. However, I need him to take this time, do his rehab, make sure he comes back fully fit and focused. We both questioned I'm doing air quotes, injury off rip anyway. I saw nothing regarding an official diagnosis. What we did see, you and I, were both things that you don't need
soft tissue.
Yeah. You get into soft tissue stuff and you could just be lying through your teeth.
Right.
We can't prove it.
Well, that's why a lot of soft tissue stuff is lawsuit city, with car accidents and whatnot.
Right. B, take a guess here. Let's say we fully believe Ben Shalom and Ben Whitaker and the injury. What do you think how long would he be out for? Because that's not part of this, which I don't get.
I would say
before he can start training again.
Yeah,
I mean 3 months before he fights, like 3 months. Before
I mean, a bad ankle sprain can be like worse than a break.
Oh, absolutely.
And if his neck is, did something with his neck, like, dude, no boxing for a long time.
Yeah,
but we don't know.
Right. I mean,
Yo, seems convenient.
it seems very convenient. Okay, let's go along with it.
Okay.
No way. They're not putting him back in there with this kid.
No, dude, it's all risk, no reward.
Yeah.
And if they are, not right away, they would have to.
By the way, right. Maybe his third fight back post injury. By the way, I want Liam Cameron to get this fight, and I think he dog walks him.
Me too.
But they know that. That's
we're
why
big
I'm saying
we're big Liam Cameron fans.
We are. We really are.
Liam Cameron fans.
There's a word in the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you see the exchange at the press conference with speaking of Ben Shalom, with Ben Shalom and before the Jack Catterall Regis Prograis fight? It's all moot now.
Yeah.
But Prograis pulled his card.
Did
you see this?
With the audio.
With the voicemail?
It wasn't Ben Shalom. It was Sam. What's his name?
Oh, wasn't Ben Shalom?
No, it's Sam Goodman.
Not Sam. Sam Goodman's the fighter.
Right. Sam.
Who is Catterall's? I thought it was Ben Shalom.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, his name's Sam something.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
that was
Never
pretty
mind.
good. That was
Never
pretty
mind.
good.
Sorry about that.
No, having actual talk about having evidence,
Oh,
like
yeah.
having that's, again, like you said, it's moot, but it was good in the moment. There's a word in here that I'm not comfortable with.
Sam Jones.
My bad. I said Sam.
Yeah.
Who did I say? Sam Watson is the
you said
liaison for Al Heyman.
Yeah, no, you caught us right.
Yeah.
No, you said
Goodman. Sam Goodman's a fighter from over there, isn't he?
Australia. He's gonna fight Inoue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Eddie Hearn has indicated that Anthony Joshua might not be ready in time to take the Daniel Dubois rematch in February and could instead now target Tyson Fury in May. It's very calculated.
Yeah.
And we're fans of AJ. AJ wants revenge, but the only issue is timing. For the rematch to happen in February, training camp will have to start in a couple weeks. There are always, and I'm not comfortable with this word or what it means, Niggles, like Wiggles, but with an.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that.
We're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
We already have no monety, so we're gonna get demonetized.
All jokes aside, I don't know what that means, and I'm not saying a word on air.
Yeah, let's just.
That.
You know what?
Write
us at KEOTBboxing@gmail.com. Our friends from the other side of the pond.
Yes, because we have a bunch, and we love y'all. Billy's here, so that means something.
Uh-oh.
Did he look it up?
I got a definition.
Okay.
Yes.
It is to cause slight
problem.
Cause slight but persistent annoyance, discomfort, or anxiety.
Okay.
Can you go to Google pronunciation and? Because I ain't saying.
You're right. I'm not.
I mean, I can, yeah, but I'm gonna do it off air.
Please do.
Well, I'm saying it's if you don't say if the Google
if none of us say it, right? Eddie shouldn't be saying it. Eddie, I don't care if it's a Brit. I didn't hear anything.
Did you?
Brendan did. I didn't hear anything.
I mean, it's how you expect it to be said.
Yeah, it rhymes with wiggle.
I ain't
saying it. So he's saying that word. He had a few. So physically, it's just a case of whether AJ is ready to do that. It would be frustrating if we made the Dubois rematch and Fury won versus Usyk. Then we're sitting there going, hang on a minute. We're fighting Dubois, but we could have Fury in May for the biggest fight in boxing. I essentially disagree with all of that. The being ready thing is more about them knowing Dubois is the real deal and he's a beast and he's going to get him out of there quicker than he did the first time. And the Fury bag is the biggest bag for both of them, meaning AJ and Fury, and it gets bigger, no Diddy, if he were to win. If he beats,
I think right now Eddie's gonna hedge bets on Fury beating.
Agreed. That's his play right now.
Usyk in a rematch.
He believes Usyk. He thinks he'll nick it because he's not gonna blow out Usyk. Right. if it's close, and what logically should happen is a trilogy. But
if they can slip an AJ
they
in the
can
middle
slip
of that
in there, yo,
and get Dubois and Usyk to fight each other again.
right? Exactly. That's what he's hoping for. So the talk of, oh, he's nicked up. That's basically what he was saying with that word. You know what I mean? He's nicked up, maybe physically and mentally, a little bit, and needs, and you know, whatever. But I don't believe any of what I just read from Eddie. I believe he's doing what you're saying. He's waiting till December and hoping / thinking Tyson can eke out that fight and then make AJ Fury at Wembley in front of 100,000 people. You know, Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis and Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Chocolatito are being eyed as possible fights for the February 22nd Riyadh season show in Saudi Arabia. Ortiz and Rodriguez trainer Robert Garcia has said. Now, Robert Garcia went on Twitter and backed it up. And he was like, I didn't say that. But I'm not opposed to it, but I didn't say that.
Right.
You know, because they're stablemates, Chocolatito and Bam, and that's like his OG. You know what I mean? Now, nobody disputed that they're trying to do Boots and Virgil Ortiz. And Virgil Ortiz had a tough fight with Boachuk, man. And you expressed some concern last episode about him and Tim Tszyu.
I've expressed concern to you, and I can express this concern to everybody else. There's a reason they were trying to keep Virgil at 47 for a long time.
I agree. Now I see why they were.
Now we see it. And
they saw before we did. Credit to them.
Yeah. Boots, he was a bully at 47, and now he's a normal size 54, 60 pounder. So
after something you brought up, I think, of course, not next after what happened to him, but I think you start eyeing Virgil Ortiz and Tim Tszyu, and it's like loser leaves the sport. If we're right about our assessments,
right.
If both of those dudes are hanging on by a thread, whatever that means, physically, mentally, punch resistance, you know, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That could be like, yo, we're going to fight, and the guy who wins gets out of this purgatory that we've been placed in.
I think Sean Porter's saying Tim Tszyu goes away for 2 years to reassess on this level. I'm saying Tim Tszyu goes away for at least 6 months before we even hear anything about a fight. He needs time to reconcile what's happened his last 2 fights.
I said, do you bring him back soft soon? And you were like, nope, no way.
No boxing.
He's got to step away. Soft in Australia. You were like, nope. No. So
I think we see, I think Tim Tszyu needs 6 months to just stay fit, do nothing. Virgil Ortiz, on the other hand, Boots at 54, I'll take it if that's the case. Robert Garcia makes me very nervous lately. So does Oscar. Oscar promotes Ortiz, and doesn't have a huge stable.
No.
So as funny as Clapback Thursdays are, or, you know, the thing he does and how he's making fun of everyone else's matchmaking.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a huge stable. So to risk guys on a high level because of is fickleness a word? But how fickle this sport is.
Yeah.
A couple losses really upends Golden Boy.
Yeah, it's sort of the irony of him talking about Eddie being on this losing streak because he could run into one just as quickly.
Right.
One thing I'll say about him, you know, we talk about he just has, the kid's been disliked since he won an Olympic gold, you know.
Who, Oscar?
The Mexicanos were basically not having it.
Yeah, because he was from LA.
It's you'll hear this a lot, you know, from your mixed race homies. Like, yo, I was like too black for the white kids and too white for the black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like he wasn't Mexican enough for the Mexicanos, you know, and he was too Mexican for at least white America. That was the view. Sure. You know what I mean? But he got dragged, and Oscar was a great fighter with a great career. I also think he gets unfairly dragged as a promoter. I'm not talking about his antics. Any promoter's antics, like say what you want about them, and I won't argue with you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because they're just that. They're
Sure.
antics. Like I happen to find Eddie funny, his antics, and like charming. If Clapback Thursdays made someone hate Oscar, I'd be like, I can understand that. I
Right.
personally find them funny because I think he's nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to, I say all of that to say this. He is trying. I'm not saying it's going to work. There are a bunch of young undefeated kids on the Golden Boy right now.
Yes.
I'm not saying any of them are standouts. I'll talk about some of them tonight when we get into that.
Right.
But we spoke about PBC and we're like,
Well,
Porter,
again,
Danny,
yeah.
Errol, Thurman. Like, are these guys all retired now? You know what I mean?
I know it's
Porter
crazy.
definitely is.
Those guys all started as Golden Boy fighters too.
Right.
Golden Boy, the knock on them, and this is the last I'll say, so we can just move on and keep it moving, not bore our audience.
Of course.
That was Bob's knock on Golden Boy.
Yeah.
When Victor Ortiz got the quit job against the infamous quit job against Marcos Maidana, Bob immediately jumped all over, because this is like, do you remember this? That supposedly they showed up with like a briefcase full of cash for Manny to court Manny from Top Rank. Manny.
I heard it. I don't.
Allegedly, there was a briefcase full of cash.
Yes.
Manny took the briefcase and never signed the contract and went right back to Bob like, yo, these dudes just gave me a literal bag or case.
Yeah.
And Bob's like, keep it, but we'll re-up your contract. But anyway, he went on a rant after that Victor Ortiz debacle.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. I mean, of course, not for Marcos Maidana. We got Marcos Maidana as part of the mainstream lexicon after that.
Yeah.
He said they don't know how to raise fighters. Now, Bob recently has said this again, and again, come under criticism. Well, you got to put your guys in tough to figure out what they're made of. Stop fooling everybody.
Right.
But Bob's like, Golden Boy just poaches. This is what he said at the time. He said they've never raised this is back in 2007, 2008, whatever that was.
Yeah. 15, 16 years ago.
They've never raised a fighter.
17 years ago, right.
They just poach fighters. So now it looks like Oscar is doing that. He's raising, him and Bob are friends again.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, bro, but see, the thing with that kind of stuff is like, okay, he's not wrong, but then Jared Anderson got rocked. You know what I mean? And we think he's cooked.
Well, according to Bob, they told Jared Anderson not to take that fight with Piccoli, and Turki Al-Ashiki threw money at him, and he said, "Nah, fuck that, make the fight."
Yeah.
Dude,
so I mean, at some point,
but in the same breath, it almost seems like Bob's like, "Well, I'm never wrong."
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. He's saying, no, put them in tough. A guy was in tough, got sparked clean out, and he's like, not my fault. This guy threw a bag at him. And it's like, bro, you can't always. I mean, that's part of it. He's a lawyer, bro. He's a New York lawyer.
Right.
Like the slime of a boxing promoter and the slime of being a lawyer doubled up. It's like, Don King was a convicted criminal and then a promoter. It's like those guys are doubling up on being lowlifes,
Right.
So I mean, Virgil Ortiz, Boots. I mean, I'm with that, man. I'm with that. Boots has got to get through his fight on November 9th.
But again, it makes me nervous when Robert Garcia is like, I've never, you know what I mean? Like and Virgil's his fighter.
Yeah, and Chocolatito, Bam, do we see one last stand for the old man? You know what I mean? Against an upcoming great. That's a torch passing type.
Well, I mean, they're management partners with Tekken, right? As you mentioned.
Yeah.
They've been sparring partners for years.
Years.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. It won't end well for Chocolatito.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so.
All right.
Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach reportedly could be postponed from December 14th.
That's just fucking.
And instead take place in early 2025 due to an issue with the venue, which is a fucking lie, guys. It's a lie.
So
could now be moved to share a show with Benavidez Morel on January 25th card in Vegas. they realized something, and
So allegedly, Tank's minimum, or what he's willing to take as a minimum, was way more than this fight that no one cares about.
I think it was 6 million. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
For a guy, for a 130-pounder moving up to
a blown up Lamont Roach.
Okay.
Who's very solid.
Very solid.
But not a name.
6 million.
Not a lead at 35. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, man, put that on a card with Morel Benavidez, I'm less mad at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Gervonta came back today with a very thorough explanation of, and just completely cleared the air. Did you see this?
Not as I was doing the notes.
He tweeted cap. That's it. That's all he said. That was how
take the phone away from that kid, because what it's become now is him saying crazy things, not knowing that the whole world can screenshot it, then deletes it and thinks he's in the clear. So and the whole news bit is him just talking wild.
Right. But yeah, way to clear your name. Way to settle the rumors.
Right. Way to handle
it. By
it
the
like
way,
a professional.
I hate that term. By the way, that's young kid shit, and I hate it.
You're getting old. I can tell that certain things you tell me you hate.
Like what else?
Things like this. But
you want to hear another one?
I have no heat with Cap.
You like young kid slang, and you use it and make me look it up when we talk. So
this is journalism.
No, you are in the DeLorean all the time. You're still a young bull, as they say. So the other thing I hate, and I'm going to tell you right now, you know how, like, you say I said something, I'll be like, yo man, this Billy won a scratch off for like $100,000. You go, really? Like that, right?
Right.
The kids now go, actually?
Yo, that's cringe, bro.
My kids do it, actually. And then if they, like how you and I would go, for real?
Yeah,
for real?
Or word?
They go, actually?
Bro, I hate it.
I want to smash my head through, like, because my daughter will be talking in the car. And the one thing she said, like, they do say, that's weird. Like, I heard my young cousin say it the other day. My one cousin said something to us, oh man, that's sus. And I was like,
oh,
whoa.
Wow. All right.
That's reached the 7-8-year-old.
Something came back too. And I was like, yo, are they using it the same way? Like, that's what I said to a young boy, right. And it was like, yeah. And that's bussing. That's old, bro. Like, that's not our era. That's the era before us.
Yeah.
That's 80s.
That's 80s, yeah.
Like, yo, that cheesesteak was busting. I heard a young bull say it.
Oh, yeah, they say
yo, that's wild.
I even think that might be out. Like, it was
it already came in and out.
It already came, yeah.
Okay.
It might have come in.
Yeah, it was recent enough, but not like last week. But I heard it was like within a year.
Yeah,
a young bull said it.
Actually,
I think it is a feminine thing, though. I don't think a young bull would say that.
Instead of just saying,
no, I know. Instead of saying word, really, they would be like, no, actually, but I don't. Yeah. I just think it's girls, bro.
No, I think it's actually. I think it's people younger than Planet's kids. Like
I'm following you. I just think it's kids that age that are female.
I hear the boys say it too.
There is male and female slang. You know, when a girl ODs saying bro, you're like, yo, come on, man, gross. You know, or when girls say the N-word, not white people, I mean black or Latinas, just keep dropping the I'm like, yo, settle down, man. You're talking like a dude. Yeah. See that whole aura of talking like a dude, then they start behaving at it and they'll be loose with their hands and think they can hit you and shit. Like, yo, watch yourself, because certain people live by a code where they're
that's when you just get out of town.
Yeah, you do. Get out of there.
You know what? All right.
If you're a female that ODs on bro or the N-bomb, you know, and you're allowed, I'm not talking about whites. I'm talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, if you're around a white chick who ODs on the N-bomb,
then you might.
You gotta peel.
Yeah, you gotta peel. Like,
you
out of there. Yeah, hard R or A. Out of there.
That's what I'm saying.
For different reasons. For different reasons, though.
Well, it depends. It depends what kind of It depends what kind of pajama pants she's wearing.
True.
If she's wearing
and with
Cookie Monster,
chancletas, right?
yeah, Cookie Monster pajama pants,
Right.
smoking
With
Newports.
with slides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone might be giving her a pass somewhere.
You got to
we don't know about.
You got to get the fuck out of there.
Right, but someone gave her that pass. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to get the fuck out of there.
Eddie Hearn on the status of Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol rematch. His Excellency has told us the rematch is on. We wait for final confirmation. So we said when it was over, let's run it right back. We have to decide between you and I what we think run it right back is, because we wanted to quit. We're like, they got out of there with no serious injuries.
Right.
So I see no reason to. When was that fight? Be mid-October? I see no reason to not do it in February or March.
Yeah, I'm with it right away. Yeah. I think that's what we said, didn't we?
What we said? I think that's what we said. Yeah. Because if you're someone who fights a lot, it's 3 months. Okay, they're not like that. I'll give them 4 or 5, but that's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't a note. It's just my view. This Campbell Hatton stinks.
Oh,
2 losses to Jimmy Joe Flint. I don't want to see him. Get him off my TV.
Yeah,
if he builds up a 10-fight win streak against local guys and I see him again, then fine.
He tries. You know, he's just not that good.
He trained,
I'd like to see
someone else. The Sun. Someone could be getting those bookings, as you always talk about. Look, XYZ shouldn't be getting booked. They're old. They have too many losses. Why does this guy keep fighting?
The nepotism falls.
And then this is the opposite. It's nepotism. He's young. He was 14-0 at one point, or 12-0. Now he's like 14-2.
Yeah, against guys like me.
2 losses to Jimmy Joe Flint, who loses to dudes you would forget losses to guys like you. You would beat the guy. Yeah.
Like
his 2 losses are people. Yeah, you're British. That sounds like you're from West Virginia.
That's what I'm saying. I do like those like Manchester dudes have the same names as our trailer park.
Our trailer park people.
Yeah.
MJ, we've been waiting for something here. Morajan Akhmadaliev will face Ricardo Espinosa Franco for the WBA interim super bantamweight belt on December 14th in Monte Carlo, Monaco. Beatriz Ferreira versus Likia Bodersa, Chev Clark versus Leonardo Mosquea, and Gary Cully versus Maxie Hughes also on the card. So that's a solid card in Monaco. But I really like. Yes, I really like MJ. They would have Golovkin fight Monaco a lot when no one wanted nothing to do with fighting him, so he just had to stay.
Who did he fight there? He had a big fight there.
But B, we're big fans of MJ. You're big fans of his little hat.
I love his little hat.
If this is for an interim super bantamweight, B, who did they strip? Inoue? Did they strip Inoue for?
Well, it's an interim belt, right? So is that like a real belt?
No, but it's the implication that the guy's not fighting or defending it, and he is anyway, from what we know.
I don't know.
Something we predicted on this show, straight up and down, that we didn't want but said it's going to happen. Canelo Alvarez versus Chris Eubank Jr. Talks have now restarted for the fight to potentially happen next. Ben Shalom said, we've already started small conversations around the Canelo fight. If he's going to fight in the UK, that's the fight and would sell out Wembley. I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe it is the second in 3, 4, or 5 BNI predicted of the Bum of the Month goodbye tour. Yeah. The Kiss tour. Who'll fight guys who aren't complete hobos, who have names or at least names where they're going.
So this would be under the PBC and Boxer with 2 X's banner, which is Ben Shalom's company.
I guess Ben Shalom and PBC is working it out, but that Canelo deal with PBC seemed to be fight by fight, so maybe it's just Ben Shalom and Boxer.
That would be a huge fucking
coup
if Ben Shalom got a
fight, though.
Canelo fight. I mean, they're really tiny fucking promotion.
Yeah, I mean that's monstrous, bro. Monstrous. You're talking.
What, I mean, I don't blame Ben Shalom. And Canelo at Wembley.
Yeah, and he is right about it selling out, by the way.
It'll
So
sell
it's
out.
like, so what do we? It's like
But
not
this is what we
guys.
said. This is Canelo's.
We did. We said there's
It's
this
the
sort of
world tour.
swan song world tour. You know, they called the thing that Joe Lewis did Bum of the Month Club.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I tried not to do it, is because he was so fucking active. You can do that when you have 9
Every
million
month.
fights. You know what I mean? The Sugar Ray Robinson fought how many times in 1947?
Yeah,
Like
it's
40
insane.
fights?
Yeah, something like that.
I think
I
he
mean, he
fought
fought
40
Jake
times.
LaMotta 4 times in a month.
Right. They fought
Yeah.
what, 6 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. So to me, that's always been unfair, only because of how much you fight.
Right.
Yeah, you fought a handful or whatever of bums. You also fought every one of that era and beat them too.
Right.
On top of that, and are the greatest heavyweight that ever lived.
Hmm.
That's not this. Look, we've talked about seeing a slight slip in Canelo. It
he's a
seems
declining
odd.
fighter.
Yes, but it still seems odd to me to be doing this now. If he what is he? Did he just turned 32, B? If he did this at
19. No, he's
35,
34. He's 34. Born
Canelo
in
is 34.
He's born in 1990.
I think like I'm including Berlanga. Okay, so I'm doing
Had his birthday in July.
DeLorean going back in time.
Okay.
Berlanga and his next fight, you know, which will be May, I'm guessing, should have been against real guys, good guys, and then do 4 of these Eubank, Berlanga. You know,
Yeah.
he should have fought Benavidez and another like real good guy. You know what I mean? And then done 2, 3, or 4 of these.
One theory I heard is that it'll be this. They're gonna get Caleb Plant a belt, and they'll do a Caleb Plant rematch, which I said would never happen, and it's probably gonna happen now. And I think, because that William Skull fought, got a belt. Plant's next in line for that belt. And that guy I watched that guy William Skull. He stinks. And I thought he lost that fight.
Fuck! How did I miss it? Who aired it?
I watched it on the interwebs. Tuned in on. I watched the fight we'll talk about in a little bit on the YouTube as well. But God.
Okay. Oh yeah, you told me. All right. Yeah. Lastly, the IBF, who we have a fucking serious fucking.
We can't figure them out.
We can't because we're going to tell you this, and this is great. The IBF have now scheduled purse bids for Martin Bacoli versus Ajit Kabayel on Tuesday, November 5th. Fight ordered as a finally eliminated to determine the next mandatory challenger for Dubois' IBF heavyweight world title. Look, guys, we said Daniel Dubois is not the heavyweight world champion. That was a monstrous win for him.
Sure.
It's huge.
They fought for one of Usyk's belts.
Yes, he's top 3 now. Is it basically Usyk, Fury, and then Dubois for you, B?
Yeah,
I'm real quick. I don't mean set in stone, or we're gonna post it or make.
No. I'm that's fine.
Yeah, I probably have him around, at 3rd right now. You know what I mean? After this little mini run he's been on. Gad, you just got a shit-eating grin. That means
no.
something.
I'm just saying, like the IBF, and so if
he doesn't fight the winner of this guy, they're gonna take it.
Let's say Bacoli wins.
Right.
Let's say Bacoli wins.
I already know
Bacoli fights Dubois.
Right.
And Bacoli sparks out Dubois because Bacoli is
it's like a fucking Mack truck.
Right.
So,
they get a Bacoli, Usyk, or Fury fight like that no one wants to see. And the IBF's just like, yes, let me count these pennies. You know what I mean? Like but again, how do we argue with them being principled? And it's like, all right, this is what's fair, but this is also what's so stupid.
It's like it's tricky because you're right. And on paper, this is what's fair, but then we look at their rankings, and Bivol wasn't in the top 10.
Right, so, but you're stripping the guy like a day after he fights. Like, all right, close fight. You got it was a could have gone either way. Razor thin. Better Bev. Sorry.
They do the same thing to Usyk. Remember,
that's what I'm saying.
Guys, I give you prize before they fought.
Right. Take this IBF belt. Yeah, that's so weird. Okay.
I got some notes. So if I'm gonna read the call. I'm gonna read the fight, and you tell me if you saw it. And if you didn't, I'm gonna do what we do. I'm gonna run through a brief.
All right, just run through them, and I'll hop in. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
We should get a Billy with a stopwatch for these.
No, we do move good on these.
We should do it like a
when we
3-minute round.
No, if we ever, I almost had an AO right there, so I caught it like no Diddy. Yeah, I was gonna say if we go long, hey yo, we're always pontificating on some shit that's not like little reviews, unless it was like fight of the year type shit.
Right.
The reason I always run through these, and you agree with me, is I'm trying to make sure that we set the precedent of talking about guys on the come up. You know what I mean? That people haven't heard yet that we think look good. You know what I mean?
Right.
No Diddy. This was Pro Box at MSG. It was that female fight. I didn't watch the main event, which was a female fight for a belt. A kid named Edward. This is the Garden at the theater. Wednesday. It was something for the firefighters, a benefit of New York. It was the Bella card, but I know you know some FDNY
Oh, like the
guys,
heroes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's always like touching.
That's a real deal club show.
Yep. Yeah. It's like the one they did when James Butler sucker punched the alien.
So
that was
that's
for
sort of what Lou is doing now is club shows.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't really see him. He's just doing these club shows.
Yeah. He was doing him and Diamante were doing the Broadway boxing for a while, right?
Long time. Since
long time.
Yeah, long time. Those used to be at BB King's. If you guys are familiar.
Yes. BB King's is dope. Is BB King still open as BB King's? Is it still a club?
I don't even think so. No.
That's a shame.
BB King's was great.
I saw a couple good shows there.
So a ton of good shows there.
Oh, you did. You're in New York.
You could get I tell you right now, the salmon and rice pilaf from there was banging.
Is House of Blues? Oh, is BB King's as an entity closed or that location? Because you know how like there was a few.
Yeah, I don't know.
Same with the House of Blues.
That location is no more.
So B, are you familiar or do you remember Edward Vasquez? Yeah, go ahead, B.
I'm just gonna go ahead, keep talking.
Edward Vasquez, 16-2, only 3 KOs. Look, he fought your guy Joe Cordina, and I thought he beat him. And I remember when you brought up Cordina, I was like, I don't know him, and you're like, bro, yes, you do. And I was like, no, and we went back and forth like a bickering couple. And I realized how I remembered him, and it was from the Edward Vasquez fight. I thought he lost. And he fought Raymond Ford, and it could have gone either way.
Okay.
So it's 2 L's. It's a Joe Cordina and Raymond Ford, and people think both of them could have gone either way. Versus a guy named Kenneth Taylor.
BB King's real quick. BB King's closed in 2018.
The one in New York, or as an entity?
The one in New York closed in 2018.
Okay. This kid Kenneth Taylor moves well. Good jab. Vasquez trying to get inside. Vasquez doing great work downstairs, trying to slow Taylor down. When Taylor stood there, Vasquez did great work on the inside, short shots. I was wondering, B, you know those guys that move a lot? You go, how long can he do this? Even really good guys, you go, all right, how long can he do this? Because not everyone's Floyd in terms of conditioning. Floyd could have done that in the 15-round era.
Right.
So I'm going, how long can he do this? But like you and I always see and always say, because we saw a guy who was able to do it in Bivol because of conditioning and being great.
Yeah.
He could do it for that long, but most can't. But he has 2 gears. He either moves big on the move or completely planted this Taylor. There wasn't that style where you know, so when he stops and throws his shots, Vasquez would throw 3 or 4 and land. Out of nowhere, this Kenneth Taylor just quits on the stool in between the 4th and 5th. Edward Vasquez was vexed. Like, that's a win, bro, in the Garden on Pro Box, you know, which is global via their app and YouTube. So you'd be happy. He was heated, B. When they do the thing where you go over good fight, he was barking on him, calling him a bitch.
He's all charged up.
He called Kenneth Taylor a bitch in the post-fight interview. He's a very good fighter. And despite calling a guy a bitch on a worldwide stage, a really polite, good kid.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. This kid can fight, and both of his losses could have gone either way. Guys, Edward Vasquez.
Check him
Keep your eye on him. Konrad Kecmanovic, 7-1-1, 3 KOs against a guy named Kanell Wheeler, 7-5 with 6 KOs. So he either gets stopped or knocks you out. Wheeler hits like a mule. So this Kecmanovic was trying to move, but he'd stop and pop and land. But he was moving too much for my liking, having a lot. You know, when a guy wastes energy, B?
We're going to get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Some people thought Madrimov was doing it, but I don't. I don't think his energy was wasted. I thought it helped him.
Classic Jermaine Taylor.
Yes. And B, lots of wasted energy. In between the 5th and 6th, I was like, this guy's going to die on the stool.
Mm-hmm.
Split decision for Kecmanovic. The scorecard was awful. We got to start talking about this, and we're going to talk about it when we get to the bigger fights. I think they have something in this Kecmanovic. I just wrote meh. What did Tank say? Cap. Yeah, here's me for Kecmanovic. Meh.
Meh.
Myquan Williams, 21-0, 10 KOs. You know him, right, B?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the 5th or 6th time I've seen him. So I'm going into this going, look, this guy's been uneven to me. You know,
right?
That's how I've seen him. I'm just calling it as I see it. Versus Levias Williams, who is 10-1-1, 3 KOs he can't punch, but his only loss was to O'Shaquie Foster. Mm-hmm. Now he's at 140. So I'm thinking this is a good test for Myquan Williams. Close first round. I'm like, this Levias Williams is capable. You know, I'm like, this is going to be a good fight. At the end of the round, a straight right hand drops Levias Williams. He gets up, gets dropped with a right hand again, right on the button.
Yeah.
Sturdied himself in the second, but Myquan Williams looked really, really good. Fast, strong, crisp, short shots. Right hand was there all day long. Keeps his head off the line, which we talk about a lot.
Did they explain why Williams had a 5-year gap in between fights?
They did not.
They did not?
No, they mentioned inactivity, but I mean, you know how me and you think is we're degenerates and hung with degenerates. You gotta have gone to the box, no?
I was just gonna say, you did a nickel away from the game.
Right.
I think maybe you were
that's what I'm thinking. And he's still young. Hey man, sometimes the box will preserve your body 5 more years. He was in great shape. But he keeps his head off the line, which I like. He switches stances, short chopping right hand, ended it in the 8th. If this is who Myquan Williams is and continues to be, he's a fucking problem. But if you're an uneven guy and look great, for me, I need you to stay on that level. If he shits the bed, even in a win, not shits the bed. If he stinks it out in his next fight, this is again a world platform, guys, because the app for Pro Box is worldwide and YouTube is worldwide. So there's 7 or 8 billion people on Earth, right, B?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of eyes, you know. Yo, this kid, man, B, watch this fight. Go back and watch it.
I'll watch it.
And tell me if I'm bugging. That he looks in this fight, and you start naming 140 guys to me, because the guys that are heralded, me and you shrug our shoulders at. If it's Teo, you know how Teo be looking terrible against like weird competition, and we both think Haney's done, you know, and whenever
like
Ryan
this kid has a shot to break in.
I think so. I think so, unless you watch it and go, I don't know what the fuck you watched. Because guys, I'm telling you, right. So
Marvelous Mike Blunt.
At 19 or 20 and do 5 in there?
No, not him. The other guy. The
other guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
Levias Williams.
Oh, they're both last names Williams. Levias Williams and Mike Williams.
They had to call them by their first names, Paulie and Chris. We're just calling them.
So Levias had a 5-year gap.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Myquan, the only thing I look is there's 2 majority draws on his record pretty recently, right? But again,
these are the
if he's scoring knockouts later in an 8-round fight, when you're in these 4 and 6 rounders, you know what I mean? Like a lot of you could just start getting warmed up, and
Yeah,
then
of
boom, it's a
course.
draw.
Well,
So
you and I constantly say this guy has, let's just say
Right, a
say
loss.
3 losses or one loss, and we look and it's his 4th fight in a 4th rounder.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
like, yo,
count it.
depending on your style, if you don't
Right.
demolish someone in the first, you're working with very little here. You could get
Yeah.
warmed up and just get a draw.
Right.
Like,
So
what can I do in 4 rounds?
but yeah, he's got 22 fights, so let's see what happens. He's
Yeah, now he's 22.
Northeast guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 22-0 with 11 KOs. He just looked really good, and I've seen him. This is probably my 6th time seeing him, and I've been like, "Oh, this kid's good." Then I see him, and I'm like, he doesn't have it all together.
He's from Hartford.
Yeah.
Do any of our friends know him?
I'm gonna talk to Correct about how
Yeah.
close he is to someone in his team. I actually wanted to while I was watching it. It slipped my mind. Thursday on DAZN was Golden Boy Fight Night from Indio. Again, I'm gonna mention Gabe Rosado again. Great job. Johnny Tanya. What's that?
He's been calling out Berlanga like crazy.
So he was going hard body this night.
Yeah.
And to do it in PR. I think he beats Berlanga. At 38 with 17 losses, he might beat Berlanga.
Yeah.
This kid, Johnny Cañas, 5-0, 2 knockouts versus Pedro Cruz, 3-5. This is at 135 lightweight. Cañas is 6-1 at lightweight, B. Good jab, great body puncher. He needs to protect himself better from counters. 60-54 on all cards. He's talented, B, but if you have no mustard on your shots to keep somebody off of you,
you're not going to go very far.
To be 6-0 with 2 knockouts against people that aren't,
again, we got to put it into the perspective of how long these fights are, 3-4 rounders. I mean, 4 to 6 rounders.
Yeah, I mean, this went 6. He didn't hurt the guy. He's talented, man. But I just start thinking, if you're not a guy that's 3-5, you're not hurting this guy. But I bring this fight up and this card because we were talking about people not developing fighters, and Oscar having, maybe a dozen of these, you know what I mean, kids that might be whatever. I'm bringing this one up to make you laugh. Caden Griffiths. I don't know if you can have a more honky name. He's 1-0 with 1 KO. He's an 18-year-old honky from out there. Versus a guy named Marcus Bowes, who was 3-6. He's fighting at welterweight. 3rd round KO. This kid looks average to me, B. I don't see anything special there. I bring this up because we talked about the concept of the great white hype not existing anymore. I think they're trying to bring it back with this gentleman here.
Okay.
I don't know that it's fair to critique an 18-year-old kid. He seems physically strong, if that means anything.
What's his last name?
Griffiths, like Emil, but with an S. And it's Cayden. Yeah, this is like really some Thomas Lamana, Litzau brothers, like trying to find a white boy, in my opinion. But
he's born in Harrisburg, PA.
He's fighting out of there, I think, though.
Yeah, he is.
Like fighting out of or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so this kid Junebug Garcia, 9-0, 7 KOs versus Jorge Villegas, 14-3 with 13 KOs. So he can crack. Beautiful left hook to the body in the second, drop Villegas from Junebug. He got up, then got dropped by an overhand right. 2nd round KO. Junebug Garcia looks like a 25-fight veteran with 10 fights. 10-0, 8 KOs. I think they can move him quicker, B. Even though, there's typically not long or any amateur careers with Mexican fighters. This kid looks like he had 25 fights. Grant Flores, 6-0, 5 KOs versus Luis Caraballo, 7-4, 7 KOs, so he can punch. This kid, Grant Flores, is going to be in fun fights. His offense is his defense. He dropped Caraballo in the 5th with a perfect left hook to the body. UD for Grant Flores, moves to 7-0. Tito Sanchez, 13-0, 7 KOs versus a guy named Edwin Palomares, who was 18-5. This is at featherweight. Fun fight fought in a phone booth, just brutalizing each other on the inside. Tito Sanchez started stepping just a little bit to his left, just a little bit to create angles. Really good stuff. In the 4th and 5th, he started boxing more, but it was still a bit of a war. Whenever Sanchez would look like he was pulling away with the fight, this Polimares would land a 3-4 punch combination. In the beginning of the 8th, Tito Sanchez landed a huge right that had Palomares out on his feet. You know, he was on Queer Street, and then he landed a flurry after he was on Queer Street. He was defenseless. He went down and was completely gone. 8th round KO for Tito Sanchez. Most exciting fight of the night. Sanchez is good, and he'll make fun fights at 26 because there's guys there. And a lot of the guys from 22 moved to 26. I see him making a fun fights there. Manny
He's ranked in the
Flores.
top 22.
Yeah, he's good. Manny Flores, 18-1, 14 KOs versus Victor Olavillo, 21-4 with 9 KOs. Super bantam, 118. Left hook from the body, left hook to the body from Manny Flores, folded Olavillo up in the first. So, you know, that's a good win. Friday, Speedy Rashidi Ellis, the return of B. Watched this on YouTube.
Yep.
I watched it on DAZN. We both said it looked like, how do we word it?
First of all, this was in some nightclub, I'm assuming. Cabo nightclub.
It absolutely looked like a club to me. It looked like a club from the 90s.
Do we know anybody in Revere that we could talk to? If you're in the greater Revere area, write us at KOTB Boxing.
I was very a big smile came on my face when I saw Sucre Oliveira calling the fight.
Yeah,
an ESPN Friday Night Fights veteran of many fun fights.
Right. He I guess he's from up there, right? He's a Boston guy.
Yes, he fought out of New England that whole I don't know if it's Providence. He's very close to Pazienza, like very close. So
mentioned him like 80 times on the broadcast.
90 times he did.
What'd you think?
Look, we don't know this Brian Chavez.
Oh, he's from New Bedford. That's where he's from. He's from New Bedford.
All right, so this was contested at 54. I guess Ellis didn't want to make 40. He said he's going to fight at 47. So
That's
I don't
fair.
know if he just gets back and he hasn't fought in a minute. He's still slick. His hands are still fast. You know, as well as he moves, it's because you're saying a nightclub's tiny ring. Of course, you guys already know that, but that changes the complexity of a fight. He would stop and pop, but he was sitting down on his punches a bit more, and I like that for him.
Yeah, I this is a hard opponent who, guys, by the way, this ended. The opponent said he hurt his left hand after the second round.
Yeah, he was down at the end of the first, but it wasn't a single shot. He just looked overwhelmed, like I can't handle this.
He also looked out of shape. The guy Brian Chavez looked out of shape, looked overwhelmed.
I don't believe he hurt his paw. Do you? I think we're looking at it.
I think he
wanted a way out.
I want a way out. I'm not into this. This ain't fun for me.
This isn't a Floyd pay-per-view where I'm being seen.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm in a fucking. I could have stayed in Argentina for this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm gonna go hang out down on the waterfront in Boston and enjoy my vacation.
Yeah, I don't believe his paw was hurt.
No.
You know, certainly if you believed you were in it, you'd give it a shot and say, let me go out there and see how bad it hurts when I touch him. So I don't know, you know, Rashidi.
This is not a good barometer.
No, at all. We learned nothing other than the fact that
he's still speedy.
He called out Brian Norman. There must be a beef there. Maybe it was, you know, people call this guy out, that guy, and then you know when it's actually personal. Like, I'm gonna fuck him up, he said. Called him a bit. Those type of things means they sparred or they don't like each other. This one dated some
Twitter
girl,
fingers.
or there's Twitter fingers, but for whatever reason. And you know, who is Rashidi Ellis at this stage right now going to call out? Boots, get out of here. So you call out Brian Norman.
I like it.
And I do too, because clearly Brian Norman just said, no, I'm not fighting Boots. I
Right.
want this, and priced himself out.
And then got hurt.
So if you don't so if you don't fight Boots, then fight Rashidi Ellis. One loss was at one time heralded. We both think he's talented. We just don't know anything now, because this did nothing to help us.
No.
At all. Let's move on.
Two-rounder.
Let's move on to the main event. You know, a big fight if we're not talking titles. You know, certainly a fight that we said the winner's probably going to get a shot. You know, or
I think
deserves
someone
it.
wrote us on one of the social media platforms and
They
said
did.
that Jack Catterall has some, like,
it's some trinket. It's like the WBC International or WBC.
That's not what we're talking about when we're talking about titles.
Yeah,
guys.
you know, even
One
though
of the
everything.
one of the big four and a main title out of the big four.
Right.
That's not what this was.
Right. Not an interim, not a trinket, not a
No.
local one, not an international, not the intercontinental, like B's favorite, Mr. Perfect.
My favorite. Did Catterall come out even with a belt? Like, I don't even think he came out with a belt.
I didn't see one when he came out. I did see some trinket floating around in the ring afterwards.
Okay. All right.
But we always do at this point. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like, you know,
Yeah,
it's probably
they'll,
from
like, make
Nando's
one.
Chicken. Yeah, it's like Nando's Chicken belt. That Co-op Live Arena, I really like it a lot.
This is the first fight there, right?
I believe so. I have no
Cool.
if not, yeah, unless one happened under our noses that wasn't big. I couldn't really gauge the crowd. Could you be?
Nope, I could not.
I didn't see numbers. I didn't see anything.
I watched it. I did watch it. I didn't watch it on TV. I watched it on an iPad.
Okay. So I'll just cut me off as I walk through it.
I had the sound down.
We both thought that Rougarou might nick it. Might
Yeah, I don't know what I was
got to
thinking.
win, and well, I have something to say about that, and I think you do too. I think you have a lot to say. It was in Manchester. Both guys jabbing and feinting for the first 4 rounds. So it's neither one of the.
Let me talk to you about Rougarou feigning. If there's no punch at the,
you should see what I have written down
with your feints. What the fuck are you doing?
Here's me. Here's what I wrote down. This is my note. Rougarou moving well, jabbing well, feinting, but not putting that straight left behind it. So if you're feinting and jabbing, what are you doing?
Bro, did you notice this too? He does like this double feint. He's so, for a guy I really liked a couple of years ago, I find him almost unwatchable at this point because it's movement from too far away. He does this thing where he double clutches his feet to get inside, sort of like jukes his opponent like a running back would, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then does what a running back does and dips his shoulder into the guy's chest and doesn't throw a punch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he takes his lead shoulder and just kind of fucking fires it into the guy,
Well, let me ask you something. Is that an indication, the Brendo long eye of he sees what's in front of him?
Look, man, guy had
execute
massive paydays, but in between those those massive paydays, he had bouts of inactivity that were out of his control, I guess, or maybe I don't know, and then he had trouble making weight for a long time, and thinking he then got I remember watching this documentary thing that they did, like a 7-minute thing.
Yeah,
where he got this weight loss guru who got him down to 140.
Okay.
Clean. But I don't need to see him anymore, Vinny. In fact, I hope that we don't on a big stage. I don't think he deserves it.
He said he thinks this is it for himself.
Yeah.
After the fight today, as we're recording, hours ago on Instagram, he said, I'm not retiring. I'm going to be champ again.
No, you're not.
Catterall landed a couple nice left hands. Prograis started moving his hands a little more in the 5th and landed that left. Sometimes a stiff jab dropped Catterall. It looked like it could have been a slip.
That was a
slip.
It was kind of like, it was one of those, you got to kind of call it.
You got to call it, but it's tricky.
He hit he got hit and then went down, and it looked, and Rougarou was slipping on that ring paint.
Yeah, multiple times.
Multiple times.
They were both cut in the 7th. Prograis was pawing at his right eye. He was down twice in the 9th. 1-2s right on the button. I don't know. If you can't get it out of the way of them.
The first jab cross that Catterall landed in that 9th round was a thing of beauty. Like did you watch the slow-mo on that?
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And right at the end of the shot, right at the end of the punch
by it again, knowing it's coming from what angle.
Yeah. I think
that says a lot about what you talk about.
Yeah, I also think he was buzzed. He's also got them little alligator arms. It's hard for him to get inside.
This fight?
Yeah, I did. I had it. I don't have it in front of me. I had it 9-3 for Catterall.
I had it 113, 112. Jack Catterall.
You had it that close?
I think the cards were way too
I had
wide.
It 9-3. I didn't think it was close.
We predicted they would be wide. You think it was wide, so you have no problem with any of this.
I thought all those rounds, the early, I gave Prograis 3 of the early rounds, and then at the second half of the fight, I thought Catterall just kicked his ass.
117, 108, and 116, 109 twice. 117, 108 to Catterall means you gave him 10 rounds. I think that's.
I gave him 9.
I think you're nuts.
That fight was not close.
Everyone. So I scored. I had it scored after 6th and tweeted it. Then scored afterwards. Said 113, 112 Catterall. It's not, even though it's that close. That was the scorecard, and he won. And I got inundated by Brits saying those cards were crazy. Those cards are crazy.
Maybe I'll watch it again because I didn't think it was fucking close at all. I didn't think it was at all close at all.
Okay, so let's talk. What was Catterall doing then?
What?
So after 6, you could have. What did you end up giving Rugaru? Total 3 rounds.
Total 3 rounds,
So you
and they were in
him. So you gave him 3. You had it. Maybe you had it even after 6.
Even after 6, and then Catterall pulled.
Wild. You're crazy.
No, I'm not.
You are. It's a bad scorecard. Saying
I think your scorecard's bad. I think you're scoring with Regis Prograis nostalgia. I think Regis Prograis fainting.
If I was doing that
and doing this and doing that,
and
then
I would have had him up or said he got hosed.
And he's getting his head taken off.
I thought Catterall.
And then he resorts to like they're tackling each other, they're falling all over each other. Look at. I'm not happy. I was going to say I'm not really happy with Catterall's performance here. I don't
fought a guy.
Catterall's a great fighter. I think Prograis is shot. I think this is. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you something when you're done assessing this fight because look. We fucking keep it 100 on this show. When we say some shit and decide we're taking it back, because they're talking Catterall. Devin Haney, and I said I don't think Devin Haney can fucking win again, and I think he can beat Jack Catterall.
I think he beat Jack Catterall. I don't think Jack Catterall is very good.
He won. Devin Haney said, "Make that fight." I said, "Whoever he comes back against, will
I can't believe how shot Josh Taylor is.
Neither can I. I don't think fucking Jack Catterall is much farther behind any of these guys as far as being shot. It's like Josh Taylor, Rugaru, and then Catterall, or it's not being shot. He's just not that good.
Look terrible to me.
I think Jack Catterall barely got by him.
I mean, I don't think
I'm not saying, this, those fights you go, look, perfect example. Better be Bivol. You go, it was close. Me and you think it was close, but we think Better be won.
Right.
You say, it could have gone either way because Bivol boxed beautifully. This is my scorecard was close, but it isn't. It's close. Could have gone either way. You know what I mean? If Rugaru won, I would have been like, yo, man, he didn't win that fight.
Right.
They were just like funky knockdowns and nobody was doing anything.
It was.
Like, do you feel like Catterall stepped up and did something?
No, he just scored a couple.
This guy's good.
It's how piss poor Rugaru looked in the second half of the fight, where I think Catterall swept those rounds. I can't find anything to give to Prograis. Like I said, it was just nonsense feinting from the outside, and then like juke and double clutch to get in.
When people aren't doing little, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Our argument, Shaqy Foster,
Robson
Conceição, which we're going to talk about, the running it back. You were adamant that what Shaqy Foster was doing was enough. And I'm like, all right, this guy did he do enough to win? Yeah, I don't think he did enough to make me say that was your maniac score of 10-2 or 9-3. He just didn't do enough to do that.
Well, whatever.
It's a bad card.
Your card's bad.
Yours is.
You're scoring for your friends over here. You probably sent
I thought he lost the fight, dickhead.
You probably sent a DM to Regis with a little.
I did.
With praying hands and fire emojis.
It was hearts. The face with an emoji with the heart eyes.
Heart eyes?
Yeah.
That's my favorite emoji that you send me.
Puerto Rico, which is in the news this week.
Oh man.
From this fucking
Puerto Rico. Oh, by the way, where's Frankie Cutlass right now?
Frankie Cutlass should be driving around all of the barrows
Puerto Rico.
One of the trucks with the speakers on the outside.
Yeah.
Just driving it around.
That was when that came on at my school dances in high school.
Oh, wild, bro. I hope somebody does something at this card. Like somebody said something. In Humacao, Puerto Rico, ESPN Plus. Renee Santiago versus Azael Villar.
That's Vanessa's grandma's hometown.
Is it really?
Yeah, Humacao.
Wow. This could be fun, B. Both of these guys lose to really good, upper echelon guys. And those fights, when you're both at the same level, whatever that level is, I'm a good prize fighter. This could be fun. Juan Carlos Camacho. Only loss was a 6-round MD. You just said it. These 4 and 6 rounders versus Jason Mama. His only loss was to Sonny Edwards. So there could be another good one there, guys.
Could be a good one. And I think that's why ESPN's putting it on. So
I do too.
Check it out on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, Wednesday nights. We love this. We're getting a lot, a
lot of content.
NFL, when we were kids, the NFL was on Sunday. That was it. We're Monday Night Football. Now we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And I don't mind when they do this and you get to watch guys you wouldn't normally see. My guess is the winner of both of these fights will get booked on a card. You always talk about this. How does this guy get booked? Well, this is actually the old school way. You've got a solid guy and you're a solid guy. And the guy who beats, what I mean, gets put on a top rank card.
Gonna see if you're TV friendly.
Yeah.
If you are, what do you call it, Vin? An audition.
Yes. These type of cards are auditions.
Correct.
And Pro Box has been doing it brilliantly. And they have a world champion that came out of it with Angelo Leo.
We'll get to them in a few seconds.
We will. Friday, and B brought this up. It's absolutely hilarious. A guy that fights, a guy that lives and fights out of Worcester. What do you say, Worcester?
Worcester, Mass.
Yeah. The way you would say it is Worcester, but it's Worcester.
They say Worcester,
Jermaine Ortiz, 17-2. His only losses were to Loma and Teo, and he looked like he belonged in there with both of them. He wasn't embarrassed. He was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people think he beat both of them. I'm not one of them.
Right.
I'm not one of those people.
He had a back injury.
Which is
so he's moving up to 140.
Brendan, he's fighting a guy named Ruben Mino and
in Orlando.
But bust it. Now it's they got him off and it says TBA. So
I saw that on BoxRec.
Did he?
He's still scheduled, so they may just throw.
No. I'm saying I hope
Mino might
be out.
But
it could be visa shit. I'm not sure.
But remember, Rashidi Ellis was a TBA, and Ring had Brian Chavez. You did your Googles, said it must be this Brian Chavez. You were correct. And when we recorded last week, BoxRec had a TBA, but it was Ring had Brian Chavez correctly on that. So let's hope Ring is right, because that's the schedule I use. And Jermaine Ortiz is fighting in Orlando. But guess what, guys? There's a fight in his hometown. 254-pound guys, Josniel Castro and Denzel Whitley. I don't understand, or maybe Ortiz lives and fights out of Orlando. I don't know.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
We know he's from Worcester, Mass, because when he fought Loma, he was still selling real estate in Worcester, Mass.
Correct. I like Jermaine Ortiz, but he needs to do something and quick.
Bro.
I don't like the move to 140 when you're not a puncher. I don't like that move.
No, but he's a big motherfucker, though. So I'm sure it was hard for him to make 35.
He is. That's fair. He needs to win big. Whoever he fights, we don't know. I think Mino might, so he's going to get a last-minute replacement. He's got to get whoever this guy is up out of there. It's similar to that Puerto Rico card.
Yeah.
If he wants, another booking, he got 2 big fights. Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez in boxing. In the sport, they're huge names. I'm not talking about someone walking down the street. They're not down that low. But in boxing, you're talking about unified guys. Lineal champions,
Yes.
He had 2 cracks and he looked like he belonged. Speaking of pro box, friends of the show, Paul Malignaggi in Algeria going across the pond to call
just Chris.
Just Chris?
Just Chris, just Algeria.
Is Jimmy Smith going? Because that's my guy now.
I'm not positive.
Talk to me about Jimmy Smith.
I just wanted to give my guy Chris Glover a shout out on this show.
Matchmaker, correct?
He's the match. Yes. Spoke to Chris right before we recorded. Wished him luck with his card.
Chris, great job, man. Great job. You're doing good things for the sport.
Chris, the karaoke king, has recently moved back.
He doesn't want it with me. This Chris karaoke.
He has recently moved back to the UK, and it looks like he's taking his talents there and making fights in the UK for pro box, and I'm here for it. And
Chris,
look who they got.
Next time I'm over there, if you want to go
head for head karaoke,
toe to toe in karaoke,
Glover and the Paz,
right? That sounds like an 80s fight.
I like it.
Glover,
Let's do it.
Glover Paz. Robbie Davies Jr.
Look who he's fighting.
My guy. He at one point was one of my favorite guys in the sport. Javier Fortuna on this show. I picked him to beat Ryan Garcia, and he got beat up. Let's add that. B. I always say, like I said, like my real terrible vocal pick.
This
was no. I always say it was. I thought Lucas Matisse was going to fly. Danny's not.
Yeah,
it was a bad pick. As far as being vocal about it, you know what I mean, like an out loud pick. That was not a good Pazzi pick night. Garcia stopped Javier Fortuna in 6. He's 38-4 now. That Garcia fight had to be a couple years ago. Now, how old is Javier Fortuna now? Guys, by the way, he was really, really good. Javier Fortuna. Really good.
That was 2+ years ago.
Do you know how fucking tempted I am because of how big of a prime Javier Fortuna fan I was? I'm ready to call an upset special here.
Well, look.
Where's this Irish Billy?
Listen, Robbie Davies
I don't think
Jr.,
he can get anything.
Who I am convinced is a relative of
Billy?
No, Ray Davies.
The Davies brothers?
Davies brothers.
Who hate each other?
Who hate each other. Who I think they're dead, by the way. Are the Davies brothers dead?
No, they just hate each other. So you don't hear.
He lost to Sergey Lipinets on Pro Box. So Robbie Davies Jr., Javier Fortuna, I'm saying that's even money.
Billy.
Fortuna's coming.
I don't know the line here, but Pazzi's. I can't call anything an upset special or a Pazzi picks unless I have the line, because who knows what the line is.
Yeah, I was having trouble tonight with lines. I only got one, the Oshaki, but
okay, I have views on that. But let's see. If all three of us put our minds together, maybe
Ray Davies and Dave Davies are both alive, and I don't know why I thought.
I know they hate each other.
They hate each other. But why did I think they were dead? I do that
you're
sometimes.
Fucking burying people. You're the fucking.
You never do.
Grim Reaper.
You never do that? You're like,
No,
oh,
you know when I do it, someone taps and I go, I thought they died 10 years ago.
oh, it's like they died
My
yesterday.
mother will go, bah, 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 kick the bucket. Called for, tapped on the bar, tapped out of the.
Yeah.
I just think this is very bizarre that we can't find odds when degenerate gamblers are everywhere.
So real quick, by the way, while you guys are looking for that,
Yeah.
Patrick McGrory, is fighting
who fought and lost to Edgar
Berlanga,
Berlanga.
is fighting Leonard Carrillo, and Kurt Walker and Rudy Garcia are going to do 10 rounds at featherweight. So this will be a fun pro box card from Belfast, which is so cool that they're doing that.
It's really dope. It's really dope. What time is it? Is it just going to air in the afternoon here?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just catch it, when I catch it.
That'll be on in the afternoon. So check that out on Pro Box TV.
Billy, I'm gonna Billy, you and I basically talk every day anyway. This is Friday, right? Friday night or Thursday night?
This?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy, I'll just text you and see if you can find lines that day. This has something. This has Frisky Billy written all over it.
I like that.
No, Vin, you're right. It's Friday, 11/1.
So we got Wednesday in PR, right?
Yep. Let me check the notes.
Nothing on Thursday. I'm loving this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday stuff leading into the. And by the way, I'm still hating the fucking afternoon cards from Europe and Saudi. Hate.
You should just stay up from the night before then.
No. I hate. It should be night out when I'm watching it.
Well, it's getting dark earlier.
From Verona, New York. Let's go backwards here. A guy I like a lot. I think you find we love that this guy comes out with
his mascot.
A mascot. It's maybe my favorite thing since the days of Nassim Ahmed. This Abraham Nova has, a low Caesar cut, and he dyes his beard, and he has a mascot that has the dyed beard. But it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I've also, since I was young, found costumes to be hilarious. Like if I see a Barney like on Market Street, I lose my fucking mind.
Okay.
You know how they'll bring like a cheap costume to a store opening?
Yeah, I know this story that
Randy.
Yeah,
it's like top 5 things I've ever seen in my life. But I love costumes. I love bad costumes better. Like a terrible Elmo at a birthday party, like a hood birthday party.
So you like walking through Times Square in New York and seeing like Dirty Spider-Man?
Yes. But unlike the tourists, I'll be like, Dirty Spider-Man, get the fuck out of my face. But I like watching him.
I like when they take their hat off.
Yes.
And it's like supposed to be Cinderella, but it's a dude smoking a
cigarette. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Taking a break.
Abraham Nova, 23-3, 16 knockouts, stopped by our knock him out the box guy, Robson Ramirez. Lost close fights to Oshaki Foster and a guy named Andres Cortez, who's undefeated. I thought the Oshaki Foster fight was close. I really like Abraham Nova. I don't know how much you know about Humberto Galindo, B. I know nothing about him. We have B or Billy did this.
William.
Billy, are you a fan?
There you go. I love it. That's like the best mascot I've ever
watching this just for that.
I did 100%.
It's
get that little tattooed on me.
Jesus Billy just played God with this show.
He did.
That's what happened.
Jesus Billy just pulled up a pic of
Abraham Nova and the mascot.
And his mascot.
And
Billy,
he must spend his entire
He dyes his beard too. You didn't tell me that.
Yes,
he just did.
No, and Billy, the mascot isn't just there. He shadow boxes on the ring.
There's no way.
And he does it good.
Way.
Yo, the mascot's nice.
He's definitely a fighter. He's nice with his paws, Billy.
I'm curious if they switch spots, would the mascot avenge some of those losses?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
if I tell Billy the guy with the mascot's on, he will fucking flip over from whatever game he's betting on and put it on.
This guy's right up Billy's
Here's the thing, B. This is curiosity.
He fights out of Albany, and I just looked it up. That's about 2 hours to Verona.
Right.
So Nova might have a crew there.
A little crew.
Yeah.
Be
nice.
Listen, B, is this ESPN Plus or regular ESPN? I'm thinking it's Plus only because of college football.
It says Plus on everything I looked, but I wonder if they'll do undercards on Plus and then main event.
That's what I'm wondering. So guys, check both. Check your, as they used to say, check your local listings. This could come on after football, like 10, and just have 10 to 12, but all the undercards on that. But check. A guy named Jan Santana from DR, 12-0, 11 KOs against a guy named Eduardo Baez, 10 rounds, featherweights. I'm guessing they're trying to, it'd be a showcase for Jan Santana, but we always, 12-0, 11 KOs and can crack. Raymond Morataya coming off a close fight / win against Philly's own Tevin Farmer versus a guy named Jesus Campos. I don't like this fight at all in regards of competition. After Tevin Farmer's a good fighter,
a step back.
It was a good fight. It's a step back. I don't get it.
They're
running it back with Farmer makes, running it back with Farmer makes way more sense.
Right.
The main event for the WBC title, Robson Conceição is ranked number 8 versus O'Shaquie Foster, who's ranked number 2, 12 rounds, junior lightweights. I believe Conceição won the first one. B thought he lost. Most people think O'Shaquie Foster won. Let's talk about this fight.
Yeah, I think that O'Shaquie Foster should continue to do what he did the last time, and he should box this guy. Conceição can get wild.
You want him to box off the back foot for 12 rounds again and let Conceição walk at him and throw him and land shots.
I didn't say box off the back foot. He's got to mix it up a little bit. I think if he implores a little bit more aggressiveness, gets on the front foot, gets on the stick.
You wanted him to box the same way as last time. No. Not if you like him.
I don't think Conceição can pull that rabbit out of a hat again, that kind of performance. You think he can?
How old is he now? 36?
Something like that, yeah. They're both not young.
Fuck.
What's the matter?
Now this is where weird shit gets in the way. Pride. That's why pride's such a... What is O'Shaquie Foster now? They talk about him like he's 20. He's 30, probably.
No, he's 31.
Yeah. Look, man, if Conceição's got something left, I think the same thing happens.
That it's close.
There were times there were times in recent fights where you go, this guy looks shot.
Right.
He could lose to a guy. He could get stopped by a guy who can't punch, O'Shaquie Foster if he's shot.
Well, if he comes in with his chin up and is, wild and he gets countered, which, again, Foster fights in those stupid white gloves, so you can't really tell how fast someone is when they fight in white gloves. I don't think that highly of O'Shaquie Foster. I think
that's what's going on here with me when I said this is about pride and trying to be right with my call.
Well,
I think logic dictates. Irish Billy, what's the odds here? Is there a line and an over-under for Robson Conceição, O'Shaquie Foster?
I don't have the over-under yet. That'll probably come out closer, but it's minus 400 O'Shaquie.
O'Shaquie Foster probably wins.
A boring
UD. 116, 112, 117, 111. I want Robson Conceição to pull off another upset. So the loser,
I think I had it 8-4 the last fight, right?
I forget your scorecard, but you definitely thought he won because we argued on air. I'd love to see Conceição pull it off. I'll be rooting for him. We talk frankly on this show. I don't think much of O'Shaquie Foster.
I don't really either, but I'm rooting for him.
If and when he gets robbed, if he wins, if he does and gets the win, he'll get beat up by whoever he tries to unify with at 30.
I'm going to go ahead and say O'Shaquie Foster wins walking away. He doesn't do much different than he did the last time because he's 31. It's not like we're going to see different wrinkles at 31 and at this weight. And I think Conceição, we see who he really is, which is we talked about crude, right?
Yeah.
Conceição can be a crude, wild guy. And I think Foster is a little more active and throws a little bit more sharper counters. And I think that'll be the difference. And I think he'll frustrate Conceição.
If this goes the exact same way, what's the old saying that the rematch of a fight usually goes the same exact way, but worse for the loser.
So you're saying for the loser, O'Shaquie Foster.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like, all right, if we think O'Shaquie Foster won, you know what I mean?
You don't.
Think, no, but I
got what you're saying.
What you think he's 31 and he's set in his ways. I still think he's gonna box. He is who he is, right? We agree there. I think he's gonna stop and pop more. He's still gonna box. I think if he stops and it's not fighting off the back foot the whole time. If he rotates,
that's what I'm saying. I think he'll rotate between the two, get on the front foot.
If he sits on his shots, he's not a puncher. He could stop Conceição late just by busting him up, and the corner stops it because of his age and the wear and tear. I think what most likely will happen is a UD 116, 112 for O'Shaquie Foster. I'm rooting for Robson Conceição as a human being.
I'm rooting for O'Shaquie Foster.
If I was a gambler, I would put a few clams on something that's unlikely, and that's a guy who can't punch in O'Shaquie Foster to stop Robson Conceição late. What I believe will happen is a UD 116, 112.
I think O'Shaquie's going to come out angry and sharp, flashing the jab. And I think he's going to jab in between Conceição's
wide shots.
Straight punches beat wide shots.
I think that if you and I don't gamble, Irish Billy does. When he gets the over-under, I think there's a chance O'Shaquie Foster gets a late stoppage, not because he can punch. You know what I mean?
I was hoping you were going to bet Conceição again because I'd bet you a chicken Italian.
I
bet you one chicken Italian. What do you think?
Nah, because
I think it's going to go the distance. Let's just make it fun. You think O'Shaquie Foster is going to stop him?
Why can't we bet on another fight for next? Let's go.
All right, we'll bet on
what fights are coming up. We
need
to strongly disagree.
We have this Floyd Schofield, which I don't think that's going to.
What are you going to do like you did last time and eat a cheesesteak, then a chicken Italian right after it?
Are you upset with me about that?
I took issue with it when I'm trying to watch what I eat.
Let me tell you something. When I go down to Philly, I embrace Raynon ate like a bird at the diner.
I think he just had beer.
Yeah, he had like a soup.
You said that very disrespectfully.
Fucking kidding. Soup. We got Floyd Schofield.
We do.
And René Ellis Giron.
Let's talk about Floyd Schofield.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Floyd Schofield to win. What are your thoughts on Floyd Schofield?
Real quick, what are your Yankees doing, B?
Dude, they're losing 4-0. What did you?
I think there is something that we talked about on this show many times. The trope, which has sort of become, it wasn't a myth, it's become one, the Great White Hope thing. But I brought up the white boy that was on the Oscar card.
Yeah.
And we also talk about in the years we've been doing this show, 102 episodes over 3 years now, or 4. I don't remember when we started with the last
3.5 years.
Right. So B, surprisingly, I don't think in 3.5 years we've called anyone a hype job. Can you remember? they've sort of gone away because
No,
while
just
someone's
just
on their
just
way to being a hype job, they'll get parked.
yeah. Well, what's his face? Vito Milnicki, we called the hype job.
We call the Great White Hype. I think
Great
there's
White
a
hype job.
difference. I think
Okay.
Great White Hope. I think there's a difference. I do think there's a difference because when you bring racial identity into it, you're trying to sell tickets and hype them to a group of people. Whatever Milnicki is, he's Italian and something else, and they're trying to market it to that. Like
Right.
you and I would never like this kid might be great. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like, you can build these regional phenomenons.
Sure.
You know what I mean? A lot of people did it in the New England area. I think a guy like a Peter Manfredo legit made a living, like fighting out of that building in
Yeah.
Providence. I think, you know what I mean? There's guys in certain areas where
So we think this guy Teles Hiron, who I don't know,
I
never
don't.
been knocked out.
Yeah,
Losses to Michel Rivera. Um,
Michel
Ho-
Rivera can
Ho-
fight a little bit.
yeah, Jose Matias Romero, an Argentinian
I
guy.
thought Michel Rivera was going to be special.
Right, me too. And he lost to
Thank God we didn't hang our hats on that too much on the show.
Giovanni
Like,
Cabrera.
he can fight. Giovanni Cabrera can fight.
Right. And so Giovanni Cabrera again losses to Isa Cruz and William Zepeda. So look,
Floyd
this guy,
Schofield is guys. He's 17-0 with 12 KOs.
I think this is going to go the distance against
Billy, you're not getting anything on this.
Rene
Floyd Schofield.
Teles. I think Floyd Schofield reminds me of like the second coming
Really
of Sean
don't know.
Porter. He's stands square. He, sort of throws like these mauling sort of punches. Am I wrong here? I mean, that's
I've talked on at least a third of our episodes on how I never thought Sean Porter was good,
right.
and I think you're disrespecting Sean Porter.
Okay. So you don't think
Uh,
Floyd Schofield will be a world champ?
This absolutely goes the distance. I think he looks pedestrian in a win.
Okay.
I think it's a 96, 94, 97, 93 type fight. And he doesn't look, I'm not going to say he just looks pedestrian in
Yeah.
doing it.
He's a muscle guy, Schofield. If you guys haven't seen him, he just kind of, he's like wild. He doesn't,
There's no fluidity to
no.
his shots because of the muscularity. No diddy. It's very hard to be both of those things.
Right. Very
Like,
square, but he smothers his own shots. He gets in too deep, too fast. He, and then just kind of, he looks like a pup
when he
crawler.
gets in close, he throws wide, which is the most
Right.
nonsensical
Instead
thing.
of coming
Short
in,
shots.
yeah. Yes, that's a great assessment.
I'm not, I'm not sold. Look, to call someone a hype job to be implied that they're being hyped. Is he? Is he fighting
Right. Yeah.
enough?
I mean,
Is he fighting? Someone
another,
thinks something of him. Who is he with?
well, he's on DAZN. I think he's with Golden Boy.
Okay, I was gonna say, is he? Eddie has scooped up some American guys, so I didn't know if he was with. But they were advertising the fight during the Golden Boy card, but that doesn't mean anything because DAZN is DAZN and they're promoting their own product.
Yeah. So we're saying good old Floyd Schofield wins a UD.
Yeah, and I think
And
we're going to start to see the things that we're talking about when they put him in there with live guys.
Okay.
What's the name of the guy that we like? Liam Cameron that fought Ben Whitaker.
Yeah.
A guy like that at lightweight will be a fucking horror movie for Floyd Schofield. So when he starts to hit that level, not the ex-champion or faded champion guys, the guys right below that, just it comes with his lunch pail.
Yeah.
And comes forward and isn't falling for the theatrics and the muscles and aims at the chest. who just keeps aiming at his chest, they're going to beat him.
All right. You want to do some Billy, are you betting on anything?
He doesn't have anything.
This fucking Billy.
Nah, I looked too. I had his back. Well,
Yeah,
on
nothing.
Conceição, I'll tell him what's the deal.
All right.
If
So next
Billy,
week, we'll
if
get back
the
to Billy's
bet would
tip
be
list.
to, Shaqy Foster can't punch, right, Billy? So I bet the odds of him winning by knockout you can get are great, and I think he might. I think I put money on busting up Conceição and stopping it late. He's old, Conceição,
and wild.
In a fight, I thought he won. He looked eld. I thought he won.
No, that's a frisky bet.
It is. When he gets hit, he's not responding well.
All right, let's do a little mail.
All right.
This one's from our friend Benjamin Turney. What up, Benjamin?
What up, Ben?
He says, "What up, fellas? Your man Benjamin Turney here. I'm writing fresh after the Prograis Catterall fight. I love this. You guys are watching and writing us right away. I hope this is like a drunk dial sort of deal."
Okay.
I said I hope. He said, "I think this fight capped his career. I don't know that he'll be in position to contend for a title again. I agree with you. If that's the case, how do you rate his career? Was he as good as we once thought, or he's just and he's just past his prime, or were he and maybe even Josh Taylor a little overrated? I think we all agree either way. Rougarou is a goon. Keep up the great work, fellas. Here's to 100 more. Thanks, Ben. Was Rougarou overrated? No, I don't think he was overrated. I think he was properly rated, and I don't think Josh Taylor was overrated. I think Josh Taylor, before his decline, his opponents, the record was like 118-10 against the guys he fought his entire career. Josh Taylor fought and beat everybody who's undisputed, excuse me, at 140 pounds. We covered it on this show. I think Rougarou, I think he's a two-time world champ at 140.
Yes.
No, I don't think he was overrated. He's a two-time world champ. I think he made the most of not having all of the physical attributes that some other guys.
He made the best of what he was given, God-given ability. The only critique, and it's not of him in the squared circle, is I think because of life stuff, he peaked a little bit late.
Yeah.
You know, if Rougarou would have
he's a Katrina survivor.
Yeah.
And moved to Houston and I believe picked up his boxing career there.
Yes, exactly. And I think a lot of that's played to him losing some prime years. 25, 26, 27. Like,
and then promotional issues. Yeah.
And then he had promotional issues and was part of Katrina. There was some stuff there. I think if he peaked
Katrina shit was when he was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But if he peaked earlier, when he could have, because of the promotional stuff. As an aside, my man Rob Kelly, an MC out of Ireland and a boxing encyclopedia. Great dude. We spoke briefly on Sunday morning. Checked Catterall Prograis last night. Fight was dog shit. Fuck my life. Rob,
it stinks.
I love you, my brother.
All right. This is kind of a callback to our last episode. And it's from Alec Marouche. He says, "Hey guys, big fans of the show. Appreciate you guys doing your thing every week. Been tuning in from Australia since the early episodes." Well, thanks, Alec. I was so surprised with the Tim Tszyu fight, as we all were, Alec. He has been trained to just seek and destroy, which has obviously worked and got him this far. What I don't understand is why his team made no adjustments and had him in the fight doing the same thing, standing toe-to-toe, exchanging punches with a guy that's a tough puncher. Murtazalayev might not have been a big name, but undefeated at 22 fights with 16 KOs says something. Tim had no defense and no head movement. How was the game plan just to stand there in the middle and exchange with this guy? Even Artur Beterbiev, who was one of the hardest punchers in the sport, was still picking off shots from Bivol and slipping punches. My question to you guys is, at what point is the team held accountable for the fight? We always blame the fighter, but there's a whole team in camp preparing for him. He should be training to move around much more and cover up if he's going to be taking top guys at 154. I feel like they let Tim down by not having a decent game plan. Thanks for reading and appreciate your insight. Cheers, Alec. Hey, Alec, thanks for writing. This is really insightful because, explain why. Almost every pundit that I tuned into after this fight, and these are former champions, pundits for 40 years, the Al Bernsteins of the world, all are asking the same questions about the team and who's kind of, obviously the fighter runs the show, but there has to be a level of humility for the team to prepare them properly for a strategy. Go ahead.
For some reason, we spoke about Tim Tszyu earlier when I said to you, like, oh, you said Sean
Virgil,
Porter said he takes 2 years off or something.
3 years off. Yeah, 2 years
Okay.
off. Yeah, sorry, 2 years off.
So you said I don't even want him doing boxing activities for 6 months.
6 months. No
got
boxing.
sidetracked. You know what I meant to say? 2 words: clean house. Everybody,
get him out.
Every person gone.
Yeah, this is. I agree with you, Paz. This is,
and
not
I'm one of those people that doesn't say that shit.
That's what
neither one
say.
of us do it. This is a time where it's actually applicable. Get them out of here.
According to everybody that's ever been involved in the sport, the fight against Fundora, you take the L, you get out of there with the cut, you don't let it get as bad as it got. They didn't stop that fight. And this fight, they were obviously not prepared for. Or, I mean, and I agree with you, Alec, and obviously I agree with you, Vinny, about this. Is Tim Tszyu, again, I said it last week, and it kind of hurt me to say it. Did we overrate Tim Tszyu? Did that could be a possibility? Apparently, Murtazalayev also had a broken hand in this fight. But that's neither here nor there. I agree with you, Vinny, and it's time to. But Vin, we were saying Tim Tszyu should move to the States 2 years ago.
We were.
What you need to do sometimes is get away from your hometown.
Bro, I'm not like, it's not just get rid of that team and, oh, there's a good team on the other side of Australia and I'll go over there. Get out of there. This is your life. This is your livelihood.
Right.
You don't have to move. You don't have to live here for the rest of your life. You're a kid. What's Tim Tszyu? 27 now?
29.
Okay. He's 29 now. We know the paydays he's had. He doesn't have to buy a massive home here. Buy a really nice condo in New York or LA.
And
you know what I mean? Go, and train out of Gleason's. Go with Freddie Roach. Go with Robert Garcia. Which style would fit here? I think a guy like Robert Garcia actually would go with Tim Tszyu.
Be nice, yeah.
I'd love to see it. LA to Australia is way closer than LA to than Australia to us. It's not a fun flight, but it's way closer. It's 6 hours closer. Go back if you do your camps at the Garcia Boxing Academy. Get rid of that fucking team. They don't know what they're doing.
No, not on this level, and they've relied on Tim's talent.
You heard it, and I've heard it. Okay, we have to say this on the air. We've both heard that Tim runs the fucking show.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to kind of, yeah.
I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm not critiquing him. You know, I run the show in my shit too, but I listen to other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you show me something, you know, and we've seen 2 things.
Show me.
Not stopping that fight and getting out of there with a no decision.
Right.
And maybe the cut doesn't get as bad. It was awful anyway. Forget about that. I don't even, but it is an L on his record, but I don't look at it as one, even though I thought they should have stopped it. And the same thing happened to his father against Vince Phillips. I'm not willing to write him off, but I'm not comfortable with him keeping that team. And I'm not fucking talking about, the second and the cut man and everybody. No, everybody's gone.
Yeah.
You come out here, you're around Robert Garcia is your trainer. Mikey's in there with them. The father's, is it Robert Sr., their father with the white hair? Live there.
Oh, I'm Roberto, I think his name is.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen to Paz, Tim. Okay. Alec and Paz, they're going to handle your career from now on.
Yes.
Because we know you're listening.
Yes.
Bill, do we have the budget to get him a flight out here? Put him up for a little while? The KOTB budget?
We do not.
Sorry, Tim.
Okay,
So
sorry, Timzo.
and I can't buy you a bus ticket, buddy. Because that would be a really sad ride underwater. Can we get him a boat? How long would a boat take from Australia?
KRS did it.
He did it.
Yep.
He took a boat to
Brought his
Australia.
whole. Yeah, he doesn't fly. He brought his whole family. Everybody.
I mean, you hear about, you read old timey boxers, right? They
Yeah.
would take like ships.
You're like, man, Shay, I took a ship to fight the guard, Shay, from Ireland.
They took a ship. Yeah, they took a ship to Australia to fight.
Yep.
Vin, we'll just send you out there again. I know you'd enjoy that.
No, we fucking won't.
Didn't you love that flight? Wasn't that your
fuck both of you? How's that? I did love Australia though.
Oh well.
If you hit me with if you B.A. Baracus me and hit me with a trank.
The old B.A. Baracus.
I told you what I did. I tried to do it. I had a couple drinks and took Xanax, slept 10 hours, and she's like, halfway there. I'm like, we what?
Halfway there, love. No, I gotta hit you with the face chop, or the Hannibal chop.
Yeah.
They used to just knock his ass out. They didn't even do it nice. Like they would just hit him with shit.
Sneak up on him. Yeah, on poor
right.
kids.
That's why he lost the rematch to Rocky.
That's true.
He was all beat up.
First name Mr. Middle name period. Last name T.
B.A. Baracus, badass Baracus.
Yeah, man, hard.
All right. So they can find me at I_know_that_kid on Instagram, at the Killer B24 on Twitter. Write us at KOTB Boxing on Gmail. You can find us on YouTube at KOTB Podcast and Instagram at KOTB Boxing. So
everyone that listens to this show should be following the fucking Instagram, and they're not. Yeah. So I'm mad at all of you.
Hop on the Instagram, you sons of bitches. Vin, where can they find you, my friend?
I'm at BoxCutterPazzi on IG, at Vinnie_Paz on Twitter, JMTstore.com for all the KEOTB t-shirts and mad new merch as far as music stuff. There's really dope shit on there, actually. So go over to JMTstore.com, cop a KEOTB shirt, vinyl, CD, cassettes, merchandise, all over there.
Again, get a shirt, take a flick, send it to us. We'll post it on the IG.
Yes.
Also, guys, remember to rate the show. Leave a review.
It's important.
Yeah, it's important for this algorithm. So whatever platform you're on, if they allow you to rate the show or write a review, please do so.
Yeah, and if you can do both,
it would help us tremendously.
It would. All right. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.